it is Michelle, your Chalk Couture independent designer. I wanted to show you guys all about paste today. I want to go over paste consistency, how to fix your paste, and then how to use our chalk paste singles, okay? So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. So the first thing first is I will say, 99.9 times I see that a project has not turned out well. It's because the paste was the wrong consistency, okay? Let's take this bark, for example. I was doing a live project and I accidentally added too much water. Look at this. You see how this is dripping off of my stir stick? This is way too thin. If I tried to chalk with this consistency, it would bleed through the lines of my transfer and it would look horrible, okay? See that? Way too thin, okay? Now, the opposite would be this paste like this. Look at this jar. This is not sour cream consistency. This is like Play-Doh almost. You see this? Now, if I was to try to use this to chalk, it would not go through the silk screen. It would end up being very chunky and look horrible, and I would end up with a very patchy looking design. This is no bueno, okay? So, what we want, how we like to describe it is almost like a sour cream consistency. Some people like to use Greek yogurt as their comparison. You see this white here is a little thick. So I'm gonna use my fine mist sprayer, and this is filled with distilled water, okay? Chalk Couture recommends using distilled water and squirting some into your jar. You don't wanna use tap water because our chalk paste is non-toxic. It is organic, and it reacts sometimes to the minerals in our tap water, okay? After you add a little bit, we're gonna take our little stir stick and stir it up, okay? There we go. Stir it up until you get that perfect consistency. Now, depending on where you live and the humidity where you live, your paste can dry at different variations, okay? When it's cold in my basement, my paste loses a lot of the moisture. So I recommend every 2 weeks or so coming down and just spraying some of the distilled water in your jars so you don't end up with hard paste or like a brick, and it'll take you a lot to fix, okay? So I'm just gonna stir this. This is looking very good. See how it kind of comes off kind of like sour cream. Okay, that's very nice. Another tool that is good to use is our multi-tool. Let me show you. This is very good to stir. It has a sturdier handle, and you can really see how that get all of that on this side here. You may need multiple of the multi-tools. And then we have the hook side here, and this side is great. Look, I can scrape all of it off of the side, all right? So this is a perfect consistency chalk paste. And as you use it, you will get used to what works best for you. Now, before I close my jars, what I normally like to do, especially if I'm not sure when the next time I'm gonna chalk is I will make sure I don't have any paste right around the rim. If you have paste and then it dries, it makes it really hard to open the jar the next time. So I'll get all of it away from the rim, like that. I will give a little spritz of my distilled water, and then I'll put the lid on, and then that will be fine. So that's the same thing I would do to this one to kind of make it more creamy. Now, if you have the bark like this and it's way too thin, you could just let it sit a little longer. But if you really want to use this for your project today, I'll just set it aside and the moisture will evaporate, okay? And then you can just wait for it to get to the right consistency. You may need to play with it back and forth and add a little bit of water, okay? And then if you are a Club Couture member or you have purchased some paste singles from me, I'm gonna show you how I like to use them. This is our Couture Teal. When you get this packet, it's best to knead it, okay? Especially if you live in cold areas or you have like our bright white. Our bright white doesn't have any pigment in it at all. So it generally stays a little thicker, and you may have to add a little bit of water. So what I like are our paste trays. You get 24 in a pack. I am just kneading this, breaking it apart. The heat from your hands also helps to get it. And then there's a little tear top on here. What I like to do is just snip the very corner. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to use the packets. I snip the corner, and then I'm going to squeeze out a little bit into my paste tray here. Then look at this. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You can use this to paste your project, and then when you are finished with your packet, all you have to do, as I would push all of the paste down, just like this, and then you can either use a paper clip to hold this tight. If you have one of those mini hair straighteners or a bag sealer, bag sealers work great, and it will seal this back up. That way you don't have to worry about the rest of it drying. Okay, let me see. I'm making a mess over here. It's okay. And then here I have a couture teal, and I'm going to just knead that a little bit. Another way that you could get your paste out, especially if you think you're going to use the whole thing or not, is I'll just cut across the top, just like that, because I want every drop out of this. And look, I'm going to open the whole entire packet, just like this. So I'm opening, look at all this paste. So even though they're called paste singles, you definitely can use these more than once. And I'm gonna put all of this on my color tray. So this is quite a bit of paste in a single, okay? Look at all this paste. And you see how this is not like sour cream? Then once you have it in your dish, go ahead and add a little bit of distilled water. And then we're just going to mix it around. Much better, much better. There we go. So now you have a perfect consistency. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. And then you can chalk whatever area that you want to chalk. You see how that's turning nice and creamy? Very nice. These trays are also great for mixing your colors. Okay, so now we have a great consistency. You can chalk your design, and if you want to save this, you can always get these little jars. I have them available if you need some. And then you can just scoop it into this little jar, just like this. This is a little bit much, but I don't want to overfill it. Let me take some out. So I have these handy dandy little jars, just like this. And these will stay good for about 2 weeks without drying out, or you can just add some water and stir with a stir stick or with a toothpick, okay? So that is the best way to use your chalk paste singles. So hopefully this helps you along so that you can make some beautiful projects.